Do you eat green tomatoes thinking they are healthy? Be careful, they could be sabotaging your prostate. That warning might sound dramatic, but for men over 50, it's a real concern. Some foods that seem harmless on the surface can quietly contribute to inflammation and worsen urinary symptoms you may already be dealing with. I'm Dr. Isabel Lopez, a urologist with over 25 years of experience. And where are you watching from? Drop it in the comments, and stick around because I have a surprise for you at the end. Throughout my career, I've seen countless patients trying to improve their diets, unaware that certain natural foods could be fueling the very conditions they are trying to avoid. If you're a man over 50 and have noticed changes in your urinary habits, like waking up multiple times at night, weak stream, or a constant feeling of incomplete emptying, this video is for you, especially if you have a history of benign prostatic hyperplasia or chronic inflammation. What you eat might be quietly making things worse. Today, we're going to talk about green tomatoes, why they are not just unripe, but potentially toxic, especially to the prostate. You'll learn about a substance called solanin, why it matters, and what you can do to protect yourself with smarter choices. This isn't about fearmongering or extreme diets. It's about giving you the knowledge to make informed decisions. Foods like green tomatoes are common in rustic recipes and homemade pickles, but few realize the risks they carry, especially when consumed regularly. Follow the channel, because this is just the beginning of a powerful series on protecting your prostate health naturally. And in the next episode, we'll reveal even more surprising ingredients that could be quietly working against you. A green tomato is simply a tomato that hasn't fully ripened yet. It's firmer, more acidic, and has a pale green color instead of the deep red we associate with ripe tomatoes. While often used in rustic sauces, homemade pickles, and regional dishes, green tomatoes contain a hidden risk that most people never consider. Unlike their red counterparts, green tomatoes are rich in solanin, a natural glycoalkaloid toxin found in members of the nightshade family. Solanin is part of the plant's defense mechanism against pests, but in humans, it can trigger unwanted physiological responses, especially when consumed in significant amounts or regularly. When eaten raw or improperly processed, solanin from green tomatoes can lead to gastrointestinal irritation, nausea, and inflammation throughout the body. The problem intensifies when these foods are consumed repeatedly, creating a low-grade inflammatory state that many men carry without even realizing it. You may find green tomatoes in traditional recipes, often praised for their tangy flavor. But what's often overlooked is the toxic load they carry, especially when they haven't been cooked properly. Unlike ripe tomatoes, green ones haven't broken down their solanin content, making them far more inflammatory. While the average person might tolerate small amounts occasionally, men with enlarged prostates or chronic inflammation should avoid them. Even small triggers can tip the balance toward worsening symptoms or accelerating the progression of prostate-related conditions. In the next segment, we're going to connect the dots between solanin and your prostate. If you think your diet has nothing to do with how you sleep, how often you urinate, or how you feel day to day, what comes next might surprise you. Before we dive in, I want to share something special with you. I've created a 21-day challenge designed to help reduce and prevent prostate enlargement with simple exercises you can do in less than 15 minutes a day. Don't wait. Grab your copy of the ebook right now. The link is pinned at the very top of the comments. Now, let's talk about solanin and its hidden impact on your prostate. When solanin enters the body, it can trigger inflammatory responses, not just in the gut, but throughout your entire system. For men already dealing with benign prostatic hyperplasia, BPH, or chronic prostatitis, this extra burden can quietly worsen symptoms. The prostate is extremely sensitive to chronic inflammation. Even low levels of systemic irritation can cause the gland to swell, tighten, or become more reactive. This creates more pressure on the urethra, leading to frequent urination, weak flow, and that frustrating feeling of never being completely empty. Over time, ongoing inflammation has been linked to the progression of BPH, and in some cases, even to the development of prostate cancer. That's why reducing inflammatory triggers, even in your diet, should be a top priority for any man who wants to age well and stay in control of his health. What makes it tricky is that solanin doesn't just come from green tomatoes. It's also found in improperly stored potatoes, raw eggplant, and certain peppers. Men who eat these foods regularly, especially without proper preparation, may unknowingly be exposing their bodies to chronic, low-grade inflammation. Stick with me until the end, because what I'm about to share might truly change your life. And don't forget, I've got a surprise waiting for you at the very end of this video. In the next topic, we'll explore the hard science, the studies and evidence that support everything we've just discussed. The link between solanin and inflammation isn't just a theory. It's been documented in multiple toxicological studies. Animal models, in particular, have shown that when solanin is consumed in high amounts, it can cause measurable inflammation in the digestive and urinary systems, both of which are closely tied to prostate health. In a study published in the Journal of Toxicological Sciences, rodents exposed to high doses of solanin developed inflammation in the lower urinary tract. Researchers observed cellular damage, tissue thickening, and increased inflammatory markers, all of which point to real physiological stress caused by this compound. Another review looking into inflammatory foods and chronic prostate conditions named glycoalkaloids like solanin as risk factors. These substances don't just irritate tissues, they can disrupt hormone balance and immune responses in men who are already vulnerable to prostate enlargement or chronic pelvic discomfort. Further evidence comes from experiments using genetically predisposed rats. When fed a diet high in nightshades, including green tomatoes and raw eggplant, these rats showed accelerated growth of prostate tissue and higher levels of inflammation. This gives us a clearer picture of how food can influence even genetically driven conditions. While more human studies are still needed, these findings are a major red flag. The effects of dietary solanin build up over time. You may not feel it after one meal, but when these foods become part of your regular routine, the inflammation quietly settles in, and your prostate reacts. In the next topic, we'll shift gears and talk about safe alternatives. You'll see how to enjoy flavorful, prostate-friendly foods without the hidden dangers of solanin. The solution is simpler and tastier than you think. Not all tomatoes are the enemy of prostate health. In fact, ripe red tomatoes are among the most powerful allies for men over 50. They are loaded with lycopene, a potent antioxidant shown in studies to reduce prostate inflammation and even lower the risk of prostate cancer when consumed regularly. The difference lies in chemistry. As tomatoes ripen, their solanin content drops dramatically, while beneficial compounds like lycopene increase. So instead of avoiding tomatoes altogether, the key is to choose fully ripe ones and enjoy them cooked, which enhances the bioavailability of lycopene even further. If you're used to making rustic sauces or homemade pickles, make a conscious shift away from green tomatoes. And if you do prepare nightshades, always cook them thoroughly. Heat significantly reduces solanin levels, making these foods much safer for regular consumption. There are also excellent non-tomato sources of prostate-friendly antioxidants. Think watermelon, red guava, and yellow bell peppers, all rich in carotenoids and vitamins that support cellular repair and reduce chronic inflammation. These colorful foods bring variety, flavor, and function to your plate. And don't overlook proper food storage. Avoid sprouted potatoes, bruised eggplants, and any vegetables that have started turning green or bitter. These signs often indicate elevated levels of glycoalkaloids, which your body doesn't need, especially if your prostate is already under stress. Up next, we'll tie everything together with a powerful recap and give you one final mindset shift that could help you protect your prostate for the long haul. And yes, your surprise is just a moment away. Join the Members Club, drop a super like, follow the channel, and leave a comment. If you've made it this far, you now know that not every natural food is automatically good for your prostate. Green tomatoes, despite their innocent look and rustic charm, may be quietly fueling inflammation and making your symptoms worse. The key message is simple: green tomatoes are not the same as ripe tomatoes. And for men over 50, that distinction matters. The solanin found in unripe tomatoes can quietly contribute to urinary discomfort, prostate swelling, and long-term damage, especially when consumed frequently and uncooked. Most men only notice something is wrong when the symptoms get loud: waking up at night, slow urine stream, discomfort in the pelvic area. But the real damage often starts years earlier, through everyday habits like the wrong choices at the dinner table. If you've been eating green tomatoes thinking they were a healthy option, now you know the truth. Replacing them with safer, antioxidant-rich alternatives is a small but powerful shift. And the best part, you don't have to sacrifice taste or tradition to take better care of your prostate. Eating well isn't just about what you avoid, it's about what you choose to support your future. Small decisions today can lead to better sleep, more energy, and fewer bathroom interruptions tomorrow. Your prostate is listening to what you feed it every single day. Share this video with a friend who might still be eating green tomatoes. And tell me in the comments, have you ever used green tomatoes in your cooking? I'd love to hear your story. And don't forget to grab the ebook. It's the perfect next step in your journey toward real prostate health.